So, okay, we finished the shape, and let's zoom out this image just a little bit to have the starting point. And maybe I'm going to show you once again, I like this shape much more. The thing I did outside of recording, away from recording, was I put this shape and stamp layer into one group. I just didn't want to make it too messy, so as you can see, I put this to the one group so it looks much better. And finally, as we done the shape, there is a time for another part of retouching. The first thing I have to say, I'm trying to do as much as I can in this basic retouch. So I always try to retouch the main big things, and later on, using healing brush tool, I'm trying to remove all of the small areas. However, it's quite impossible to retouch everything at once, or we are just sometimes too lazy to do this. So later on, we usually can notice that, oh, there's some more thing to do. So in this case, I usually start working with frequency separation. And what I have to say about frequency separation is the technique that is recently overused. You probably heard about this technique. It's all around YouTube. And it's only a small part of this technique which is explained there. So there's much more about frequency separation that has to be shown. And of course, I'm going to show you this. But the thing you have to remember, don't try to do all of your job in frequency separation. So what is actually frequency separation? In frequency separation, we're going to split our image into two layers. We're going to split this into the texture. So one layer is going to contain information about the texture, about the details, and the other layer is going to contain informations about the color. So as different kind of frequencies are in many areas of life, like especially artistic areas like in music, the same is in photography. We can split the image for different frequencies. For high frequencies, which going to contain the texture I told you about, and the low frequencies, which going to contain information about colors. So how I'm doing this, I'm just going to create a stamp on the top right now. So Alt, Control or Command Shift and E, and then I'm going to duplicate this layer once again because we need to have two layers. If you're looking well, you already know this process from the hair retouch, but let's do this one again. And this layer I'm going to call low, and this will be colors. And the other layer, and the other layer I'm going to call high, and this will be details. It's not only about details, and it's not all about details, but just to make it simple, I'm just calling this like that. So let's start from the low frequency, and as you already know what it's all about, as we choose this, I have pretty much well radius. I cannot see any details from the face, but I can see the main shapes. So I can say, yeah, this radius is alright. I know this because I said this before when I was retouching the hair. So find the point where you cannot see the details like I do, and where you can see all of the main parts that you need. So when it's like this, hit OK, and then we are going to the high frequency, an image, apply image, and here we are. Layer, it won't be shape of course, but it has to be low layer. And blending, as you know, I have 16-bit image, and I told you all about this before. So my blending will be add, scale 2, offset 0, and this invert box has to be checked. If you have 8-bit, of course, it's subtract, scale 2, offset 128, and this box won't be selected. So hit OK. And now, to make everything normal, change blending mode to linear light, and I'm going to put this to the group. So that's my original image. right now. I just split this for 2 different layers, and that's how it looks like. So as we are prepared to work with frequency separation, it was quite simple process, as you can say. So now is the time for some of the real work.